compassion, and faith. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which one will win?" The old Cherokee simply replies, "The one you feed." And here I wrote many poems and writings based on this parable. I wrote a Bad Wolf where I said, "The one you feed wins, the one you kill loves God." And another song, "Kill me with poison, but you feed on the blood of humans." There's a fight which is within fight because fight is within all of us. But the one who loves God and reverences God will make everything easy for him. And martial arts, such things as passing into enlightenment, are a blessing from God, whereas where the original sin or disbelief of Adam and Eve, when as is stated in the Quran, God appoints devils to accompany those who disbelieve in God, also disbelieve. God also told us He will send messengers of God, and anyone who believes them will not fear nor shall they grieve. For them happiness and joy in this life and the hereafter. Messengers of God on your call, God's absolute authority. To know a true messenger, they will proclaim there is no God beside God. The most perfect religion is submission. The message shall there are those who seek exaltation of earth, and there are those who seek the glory of God. May you never come to bloodshed among brothers, and may God reconcile us and deliver us from evil. You see, I have been tortured by persecutory thoughts, such thing as what is to chop my right hand off, when I committed theft. Now we know that God's ration belief made it clear that this was not the true meaning of the relevant verse in the Quran, as it appears again concern Joseph and the women, the state apostle, the governor's wife, and only love with a servant, which he then prepared for them a place to sit, told him to come in. And in the Quran we're told to mark the candles with these, which is because a mark can has many impacts on the king's companion in life. And here, in the story of Joseph, they did not chop off their hands when they saw him, but cut their hands. In the verse where it says to cut the hands of the king, to mark the hands of the thief. Anyway, I then saw the reality of a life without a hand, unable to dress myself, unable to drive, unable to type, unable to play guitar, unable to pick up my child. You know, when you feed wins. What does you win? Souls. You feed on the blood of humans. What you should ask is something like, which one should I be afraid of? God. These are the answers to win souls, to love God. To win souls means that you feed on the blood of humans, whereas to love God means joy and happiness in this life, and in the hereafter. But remember, therefore, the evil is the one who has devils accompanying them due to the disbelief in God on the last day, whereas the God has believed in the messengers of God, was sent with, and also proclaimed, our Lord is God, and submit to God. The impeccable military hierarchy or the natural freedom of cyclical agriculture, the new secular order of the kingdom of God. When one repents to God and believes in the message of God and does not make the distinctive dominant, and we become part of the kingdom of God. This one was called Parable of Two Wolves. It was about a parable I read while I was stumbling on the internet. I was stumbled upon. And an iPad Live. Yeah, fully charged and ready to go. this is to deny terror. Well, let's start up here somewhere now. This one there. Play a different start. To deny terror is to deny the night. To deny terror is to deny the last day. To deny terror is to claim there can be another God with God. Yet the disbelievers are plagued with hypocrisy, because it isn't God who is in a duel, it is you, souls vampires. Whoever disbelieves in God, God appoints devils to accompany them. Adam and Eve disbelieved in God, and instead of becoming mortal angels, they became mortal humans. And the pathetic Satan then became a god with God instead of the pathetic, evil, despicable, worse than animals creature that is too evil to be witnessed in God's royal kingdom. These Americans will not become submitted to God. Instead, they can face annihilation, not because they thought they could corner God, because they could not fathom the greatness of God. And even after the last day, God did not have to commit murder after murder. Instead, the disbelievers were agonizing, miserable torment of hell for eternity as their proud, evil Iblis was an immortal angel until he acquired thoughts of becoming another God with God, till God exposed it with the creation of Adam. So whoever agrees with Satan that there can be another God with God will go to hell. And those who submit and bear witness there is another God beside God will be in eternal bliss in the Garden of Eden. And these white poker greedy pirates all want to humiliate believers in the unseen, faithful. Yet we get deemed being crazy when we fight for our rights, because the disbelievers are fighting for the cause of tyranny, whereas the believers are fighting the cause of God. Satan promises you poverty and commands them to commit evil, while God promises you forgiveness and from Him and grace. We keep getting observed and monitored through hierarchies, and they keep mischievous tyranny and white supremacists through witchcraft merciful. They use their impeccable hierarchies and institutes, whereas we are natural cyclical farmers and worship God and not money. They keep undermining our behaviour, whereas we keep believing the unseen and cannot explain why they choose to point mischievous and backbiting devil's tricks. They are impeccable bastards, we are natural sons. Well, I stumbled on a few words there. Finished collecting songs for my 19th album, and I put some of the acoustic new songs in there as well. And I'm thinking maybe I should move the acoustic songs onto a new album and make it the 20th album. So I've done 19 now. This was the 19th album cover. I don't know if you can see it from there. It was a nice cover. It's a bit feminine, and it's a nice cover. One of the best I've done. And let's see it on full screen. There's a full screen. It's called Duality or Singularity. And those who are awakened in the world are attempting duality, not duality of humans,
about duality of God. They claim there can be another God with God, and deny God's marvels. And whereas those who are in a singularity, those who are blessed by God and have reached knowledge, not knowledge, but reached certainty in their belief that God, there is only one God, that there is no other God beside God. MashaAllah, and that's what everyone should try to endeavour to achieve or attempt to. Anyway, they keep using witchcraft, connections of the OCI, and think that we're all connected, and if we're not connected, they think we're high or something. Basically, they don't believe that anyone cannot be connected to the OCI, and they think it's an impossible situation. But mashallah, God guides from the depths of darkness into light, and anyone who reverences God will make everything easy for him. And mashallah, la quwwata illa billah. The duality or the singularity, people in human history have shown a duality and up till now, and it isn't the fault of the Messiah or Son of David. It's just basically people who deny the last day and denying there is only one God. Anyone who disbelieves in God will appoint devils to accompany them. And Adam was commanded by God not to approach the forbidden tree, and he disbelieved God, and Satan duped him that he would become a mortal angel if he ate from it. And once they ate from it, their bodies became aware to them, and they basically bodies became aware to them, and they covered themselves with the leaves of paradise. And then God asked them, why did you approach this tree? And so they became humans on earth, and instead of becoming mortal angels like Satan promised them, they became mortal humans. Instead of becoming mortal angels, they became mortal humans. And and if we redeem our souls, then we'll return to the Garden of Paradise, Garden of Eden. And to return to Garden of Eden is to denounce the devil and to reaffirm there is no other God beside God. And in this treachery and in this treacherous world order and in this satanic domain on earth, you'll see that people are being tortured, or someone being defeated. Someone defeats torture. Like people picking on them, or backbiting, or trying to humiliate them, and they are under command hallucinations of devils. Now, the white man is under command hallucination of devils, whereas the submitters to God are faithful. They don't use the OCI. That's the difference. Anyway, I'm going to play this song back to myself and see how it plays. Might have to do it again. Okay, switch this sensation. I think it's the iPad which provides a lot more clarity and sound. What is this called? To deny terror. Let's have a look at those lines again. Exit full screen to deny terror. What's it called, this one? To deny the night. To deny the last day. This one's called. It's called To Deny Terror. To deny terror. Why do they deny? Why do they have a war against terror when terror is like natural? They all believe that they're Christians, and as Christians they also believe that there is a last day and the day of resurrection, and there's hell or paradise. Now hell, what's the hell then? Hell is terror. And and in life there's a lot of terrifying situations. It's those who believe in God and in life who will not fear nor shall they grieve. And so to deny terror, to deny drugs, even to deny drugs is wrong too. And to deny intoxicants, okay. What is an intoxicant? Intoxicant makes you lose your self-control. Whereas drugs don't make you lose your self-control, they enhance everything. They enhance perceptions, they change the realms of consciousness and all these things. These are not intoxicants. Marijuana is not an intoxicant, it's more like some people find it energetic. If you vaporise marijuana, it's an energetic feeling. But if you smoke it through a spliff or something, it's just like it's like a competition of despair. And you feel in the day of resurrection all of a sudden. Your mind, when you feel, and that's a bit more intoxicating feeling. But in some ways you can have an intoxicating feeling. You can have an enlightening feeling from the same thing. And there's a lot positive from marijuana and cannabis, and there's a lot of positive from opium too, and cocaine or whatever it's coca or whatever it's called in its natural form. And the only reason they implemented this war against drugs is because they didn't want non-whites to make a lot of money, and they don't like rich non-whites because then it challenges the white supremacists. And that's why they all need to be ghettoised and sheeple or terrorists in their impeccable behaviour protocols. And we have to keep taking humiliations and defeats, like a defeat is torture. While a dead life is just effortless misery. Because they're in effortless misery because they're in hell. We accept we're not God, and we accept we are humans, and we accept that there is a last day and then a day of resurrection. So we already have humility in our hearts. And whenever people say backbiting words to you or humiliating things to you, you just accept it. You don't accept it, you just ignore it and just say whatever, or you don't have to fight back. Just ignore it. Just words. And at the end of the day, we accepted defeat is torture in our life. We've not accepted it, but we know that's what we can either get. From everyone, because everyone's a hater of humans, because they all disbelieve in God since Adam and Eve. But we, as faithful, we don't know all these things. We know it through reading and through research. Whereas they're aware of all these things, but they can't express them because they're all witches. And that's why. And they deny God's marvels. They should think when they get presented with something, like when a marvel of God gets presented to them, they should think that God exists and that God is watching them and all these things, but they're ignoring that fact. They're ignoring that God is watching them and He's taking account of all their thoughts and all their secrets and all their declarations. God's knowledge encompasses everything. God knows of all secrets and declarations. Now, why do we use the term God instead of Allah? Because it is ignorance to say that Islam is a religion of Muhammad, and Islam, a Muslim mission, and Muslims was what Abraham called us if you read the Quran carefully. And Jews know him as God, and Christians know him as God. And in the Quran it tells anyone, as for the Jews and the Christians and the converts, anyone who believes in God and believes in the last day and leads a righteous life will receive their recompense, and they shall have nothing to fear nor shall they grieve. So it's about hear no, see no, speak no. Basically, it's about the three attributes of God: omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. And and maybe omnibenevolence, benevolence, or something like that. As I say, there's a fourth one. No, there's a fourth one. It's like animals. Animals are like babies, and so they don't know anything. They're just babies. They don't know anything. They just know about feeding and eating and mating and things like that. But they have a sophisticated life too, and God controls everything. There's wisdom and there's all sorts of knowledge and beautiful stories to be told, amazing stories to be told about animals. But and humans are like children, and they're learning all the time. All through the life they're just learning, because that's what we do. We just learn. We learn from the past, and devils are observing the present, and angels know the future. And it's philosophy, linguistics, history. Let's play the song.
To deny terror is to deny the night. To deny terror is to deny the last day. To deny terror is to claim there can be another God with God. Yet the disbelievers are plagued with hypocrisy, because it isn't God who is in the view, it is you, souls vampires. Whoever disbelieves in God, God appointed devils to accompany them. Adam and Eve disbelieved in God, and instead of becoming mortal angels, they became mortal humans. And the best.
Well, that was not a good performance, so I'm going to record that again. Let's do input to stereo. Don't want mono recording, I want a proper stereo recording, I can't do stereo. Come on, record. It's not. It's plugged in, that's why. Let's try stereo. Stereo! No. Oh! Yeah. Okay, let's snap out of it, a little bit. It's getting a bit too... Okay. Let's try it again, yeah? Let's try again. Okay, here we go. To deny terror is to deny the night. To deny terror is to deny the last day. To deny terror is to claim there can be another God with God. Yet the disbelievers are playing with hypocrisy, because it isn't God who is in the duel, it is you, soulless vampires. Whoever disbelieves in God, God appoints devils to accompany them. Adam and Eve disbelieved in God, and instead of becoming mortal angels, they became mortal humans. And the pathetic Satan never became a god with God, instead a pathetic, evil, despicable, worse than animals creature that is too evil to be witnessed in God's real kingdom. These Americans will not become subjects to God, instead they confess annihilation, not because they thought they could corner God, but because they could not fathom the greatness of God. And even after the last day, God did not have to murder, instead the disbelievers were in agonizing miserable torment of hell for eternity, as their proud and evil beast was an immortal angel until he thought of being another God with God, until God exposed it with the creation of Adam. So whoever agrees with Satan that there can be another God with God will go to hell. Those who submit and bear witness there is no other God beside God will be eternal bliss in the Garden of Eden. These white porky greedy tyrants all want to humiliate the believers in the unseen, the faithful. Yet we get being crazy when we fight for our rights. But because the disbelievers are fighting for the cause of tyranny, whereas the believers are fighting for the cause of God. Satan promises you poverty and commands you to commit evil, while God promises you forgiveness from Him and grace. We keep getting observed and monitored through hierarchies, and they keep their mischievous tyranny of white supremacy through the witchcraft, Persephone, and use their impeccable hierarchies and institutes whereas we are natural cyclical farmers and worship God, not money. They keep undermining our behaviour, whereas we keep believing the unseen and cannot explain why they choose to prove our mischievous and backbiting devil's tricks. They are impeccable bastards, we are natural sons. Piece of cement. Wow, I didn't stumble across any words in that one. I played it quite cleverly, you know. Let's change this title to... This is called... What's this called? Denial of God's marvels. That's what it's called. It's called denial. Denial. You're in denial, man. So let's say that there. Let's play that. How much time have we done? 30 minutes. Last time. Well, it's not really. Okay, here we go. To deny terror is to deny the night. To deny terror is to deny the last day. To deny terror is to claim there can be another God with God. Yet the disbelievers are playing with hypocrisy, because it isn't God who is in the duel, it is you, soulless vampires. Whoever disbelieves in God,
God appoints devils to accompany them. Adam and Eve disbelieved in God, and instead of becoming immortal angels, they became mortal humans. And the pathetic Satan never became a god with God, instead a pathetic, evil, despicable, bastard, animals, creature that is too evil to be witnessed in God's real kingdom. These Americans will not become submitted to God, instead they confess annihilation, not because they thought they could conquer God, but because they could not fathom the greatness of God. And even after the last day, God did not have to murder. Instead, the disbelievers were in agonizing, miserable torment of hell for eternity, as their proud and evil Iblis was an immortal angel until he thought of being another god with God, until God exposed it with the creation of Adam. So whoever agrees with Satan that there can be another God will go to hell. Those who submit and bear witness there is no other God beside God will be eternal bliss in the Garden of Eden. These white porky greedy tyrants all want to humiliate the believers in the unseen, the faithful, that we get deemed being crazy when we fight for our rights. Because the disbelievers are fighting for the cause of tyranny, whereas believers are fighting for the cause of God. Satan promises you poverty and commands you to commit evil, while God promises you forgiveness from Him and grace. We keep getting observed and monitored through hierarchies, and they keep their mischievous tyranny of white supremacy through witchcraft, Persephone, and use their impeccable hierarchies and institutes whereas we are natural cyclical farmers and worship God, not money. They keep undermining our behaviour, whereas we keep believing the unseen and cannot explain why they choose to creep on mischievous and backbiting devil's tricks. They are impeccable bastards, we are natural sons.